Hi everybody, welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, Oberon's outlook on the emotional exchanges, my weekly forecast for our emotional feelings, our ups and downs, the currents and undercurrents in each of our lives as arranged through the elemental associations of our zodiac signs. So we get started with a general thought for the week, a collective thought for the week for all. And for that, I use the not quite a tarot, though called a tarot, and that's the Isis tarot. It's really more of an oracle, about 35 or 6 cards, and I just pull one and go with the general collective. And I have pulled number 22, vagueness. Vagueness. Sounds interesting. Vagueness. You share your talents and your fortune with others. You build a new vision in life. You teach your aim. You will undertake numerous travels. You will make a choice in your life that will be very decisive for your further career. A feeling of responsibility for the task that you have taken on. Purposeful, practically inclined. All right, so that's for the collective. So now we're going to get started with our readings. We're going to do air signs first. Air signs. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So we give you also an additional word of the week with the Egyptos Care Tarot, which I'm going to use right now. Whoop. Always with the slippery cards. Oh dear, air signs, you have the obelisk, which is also known as the tower. This would be an indication that for this week, you may have a great lesson to learn. You may really literally pull out a lesson or a survival at the last moment. There's something threatening that could be happening around you. And what you must remember is there is a sunshine afterwards. There is some light on the horizon. It is mostly important that you understand there's a big lesson being imparted to you. And I imagine that because this is a reading of the emotions, it would be concerning your emotional life. So take care, my air signs. So let's get on to the rest of the reading. And I use the Clive Barrett Ancient Egypt Tarot for that. Card 1. What emotional happiness will you, the air signs, find this week? And it is the reversed 6 of Wands. I feel that this card will be saying that you'll be happy because someone will be noticing your problems. Maybe they're mostly concerning how you're able to have advantage in your life, how you're able to reward others in your life, the feelings you get um, from being magnanimous, and that now you will be looking for that perhaps in your own way. You will be looking for someone to appreciate that you need help getting ahead because your victory has not been so assured. And so what will make you happy is when you're able to realize that others are concerned and want you to do better and want you to get back on top of your horse and ride. So then, card 2. What challenges or surprises will you face? As if that wasn't enough. And it's the Prince of Cups, which would be the Knight of Cups, reversed. And so I believe that tells us that our challenge this week, what may surprise us is that the plans or thoughts we had of certain pleasurable or emotional things moving forward in our lives, maybe it was a relationship that we were furthering or deepening, or maybe it was a personal relationship that we felt we were becoming more friendly with somebody, that we may find that that's a harder nugget to crack, as they say, that maybe there is a little bit of resistance towards our emotional overtures, whether they're romantically inclined or just in the nature of friendly, positive feelings. It may be that we're finding that there are people in general who might be resistant to emotional interchanges at this time. It is kind of interesting because, of course, we are moving literally within the day into Pisces, and so there is that sense of emotionality. And maybe we're just going to find people with more guarded feelings, and that will be a challenge for us. So then finally, air signs, what may concern those who are with us in emotional ways, whether they're our spouses, lovers, our friends, co-workers, people that we care about. And we have the upright Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune comes up a lot in our day card of the day with TFT, Tarot for Today, and also other readings. So it's kind of nice that it came up because the Wheel of Fortune always adds a sense of good luck and positivity. So it may be that those around us are having more favorable times, especially what is emotionally pleasing and happy to them. People are feeling the draw of luck. People are feeling the change, the cycle in a way. You know, we're moving into spring. So I think that's happy for most of our friends. And so maybe that will reflect over into our own lives. So let's recap that briefly. Although the word of the week cautions us to be careful of some large lessons in our life and that we will get through, but will maybe have an impact, we're also seeing the fact too that our happiness maybe is looking at others finding a way to kind of commiserate with us or to tell us they support us, they want us to be victorious. Excuse me. What challenges us maybe is those people who maybe are a little bit colder to us emotionally. Maybe they're not quite as open to our charms or to our friendly persuasions of friendship with them. Friendly persuasions of friendship. And then finally, I'm going to need a sip of my coffee here in a moment. The Wheel of Fortune says that those around us in our circle of love or happiness are feeling the changes of luck, are feeling the cycles of time moving in a proper manner for them. Thank you, my dear producer. TFT, tickles for throat. You are there for me for the tickles for throat. So that's what we had for the air signs. And whoo, I made it through there. Okay. So, we are moving on to the fire signs. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Your word of the week is alliance. Fire signs will do well to keep in mind that not only do they have faithful and loyal allies, but allies feel they can depend on them too, and that we are strongest when we do choose to work together, to harmonize, to support each other's goals and ambitions. All right, so let's see what the rest of the reading has for fire signs. And I want to thank everybody who's watching Goth Tarot. Also, if you're watching Banshee's Material Matters, which is on Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to also look for, I believe it'll be tomorrow, our monthly modality message as the sun moves into Pisces. All right, fire signs, what emotional happiness will you find this week? And you have it all. You have the world. Fire signs will find that everything feels perfect, especially when it comes to the realms of emotional matters. We are really happy because we sort of feel like things have come to a successful conclusion, and that the only way moving on is just better and better. It just doesn't get better, as they say. So there's a lot of success there for the fire signs. They're feeling like things have really happened for them. Maybe certain commitments have happened. Maybe certain projects have fulfilled. Any of that. So then what will remain to be challenging or surprising to the fire signs? And of course, we have the upright Two of Discs or Two of Pentacles. And I believe that maybe what is challenging is, of course, finding other things to work on. It sort of looks like a successful rhythm there and a successful balance of everything. So maybe when you get the whole world in your hands, you have to make sure you can balance it all, you know. You can sort of hoist it up there and make sure it regulates and works well. So I think whatever fire signs have been handed in terms of all this stuff here, a successful alliance that leads to completion and perfection, it still will take a little bit of a challenge to make sure it's all in perspective. So then finally, what will surprise or concern emotionally our friends, lovers, children, parents, things like that, those who are emotionally close to us? And it's the sun reversed. And I'm wondering if this could be saying too that there are some little minor glitches out there. Just to throw it into the context of the collective, we know that although a lot of advances are going on with the health promotion through COVID vaccines, there have been some relapses in some states and some areas, including my own state. And it could be one of those things where maybe we've taken a little bit of knowledge, which can be the sun card, and we've kind of just used it to our own end, you know. Sometimes to me, when the sun is reversed, it maybe signifies a little bit of selfishness. And this could parlay into things not exactly going the way we intended, unintended consequences. So I'm going to just leave it at that, that maybe some of the people around us are going to have some unintended consequences when they thought everything was going nicely. Because let's recap. For fire signs themselves, that you are having a lot of good stuff going on here. You're having successful relations that are partners. You're having the world fall into your lap. You're learning what you need to keep it in perspective. So remember that for everyone else, maybe you're that model of inspiration. And so you need to just model a little bit more behavior for those people who are floundering or who are wanting to make it totally their success. Everyone's got to find their own success. The fire signs are finding theirs. Help the others find theirs too. So that's what we have for fire signs. So now we're going to move on to the water signs. And water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And their word of the week, sounds like a Scorpio word more than the other two, avarice. Avarice is the word of the week. And avarice kind of, maybe it talks a little bit about selfishness in a way. Maybe it talks about a little bit of a harder, meaner spirit there. So I'm going to say water signs. Maybe this is just saying that although you may have things your way, it doesn't mean you can't be a little bit, more nice about that. I may have to check my records on that. Avarice seems to be one of those like oldie-timey words that, might not be as quite illustrative of a modern day emotion or circumstance. But I'm just saying, watch out for that. Don't be jealous. Don't be too covetous, that kind of thing. So let's move on then with our reading. Boy, I almost want that one, but I'm going to shuffle back in. All right, water signs. What emotional happiness will you find this week? Oh, and it's the Two of Discs, but this time they're reversed. So I'm thinking that maybe what this is saying is that we are possibly saying goodbye to some situations that were maybe a little minorly troubling, nothing really major, but maybe it was a matter of perspective being not quite in balance. Maybe we are looking at some of the situations and people around us and saying they are a little bit unwieldy for us, that balancing. And so we are possibly letting them go. We are not really working with them. And maybe saying, go your own way works the best for us and makes us feel better, that it may have been a burden too hard to bear. And there's no shame necessarily in admitting that we might have had taken off something harder than we could bear. And so maybe to relieve ourselves of that burden will make us feel better. So then what will be our challenges or surprises this week, water signs? And it's the Nine of Swords, but they're reversed. And I think that maybe this is going to coincide a little bit with the first card in saying that as we have kind of reestablished a sense of perspective on something that was bothering us or that we felt was more of a burden than we appreciated, it may very well have been emotional pain that maybe wasn't really ours to really have to shoulder so much. Maybe it might have been, a friend or somebody that you wanted to, but it really wasn't the kind of thing that you could be there for them. I'm not sure if I can give a really great example of that. Maybe it's more in the nature of people who are at a distance from each other, which that card can imply. But that idea that maybe you couldn't really be there in the way that they wanted, and maybe there was just a little bit of something about that, emotionally that bothered everybody. And so that challenge is that you are going to release that from yourself. You're going to continue to release it from yourself because it's really not helpful for you or whoever that is. So then finally, what will concern others around you? Maybe it's those same people. What will concern them emotionally? And it looks to me like it's the Three of Wands reversed. And that would seem to indicate that maybe some people feel they have to let it go too. It's kind of like that whole thing there. So I'm getting the sense that maybe this week for the water signs is really letting go of some situations that maybe have brought a little bit of heartache, but also maybe a little bit of a sterner edge to us, that avarice thing there. And the fact that we have found that there are burdens to bear that maybe we didn't totally feel we should have been. And so the Three of Wands reverse kind of sums it up, saying that maybe people around us who we normally do care about, they have to kind of move on themselves from their sense of loss, from their sense of things not working in the direction they wanted, the plans they wanted maybe crumbling away. You can be there so much, but you can't necessarily carry them totally. And I think that's what some of these other cards were saying. So that's pretty much what I had for the water signs. And so now we're going to close things out with our good friends, the air signs, or the earth signs rather, I'm sorry. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And your word of the week. Impediment. That's pretty obvious. Earth signs will feel that there is perhaps at least one major obstacle or situation or struggle to be surmounted that is in their path this week. You may have to basically mostly meditate on that, because I'm getting the feeling that it's not a physical thing that's in your way, like the bank says no loan, so you just stop. It's more like maybe an idea to absorb or to understand and channel the energy elsewhere. There's something maybe philosophical that's doing this. So you're going to have to consider, what are all the things you can change? What are the struggles you might have that just need a fresh thought to move around, get away from? Okay, so then what emotional happiness will the earth signs find this week? And we have the Three of Discs, Three of Pentacles, and it seems like everybody loves earth signs. There's people that are just falling out of the woodwork to sing your praises, to really feel they adore you, or that they so appreciate what you do. And this will make you very happy. But what will surprise or challenge you, the Six of Wands reversed, is maybe you don't feel that way yourself. Perhaps you either feel you're not worthy of this, or you're just not understanding why people feel that way, because you don't feel that way yourself, that you are that pleasing to others. Maybe you feel like you don't have that, or at least this week. So you're not really getting that, but it's there for you. So that's a challenge for you to understand maybe why you feel this way. And then finally, what will concern others the most? And it's the Hangman. The people around you, maybe even though they feel that they want to give you those great strokes, maybe they also understand where you feel lack inside. And so they're saying, or they're feeling, what concerns them is that they would give up more. They would give up things to make you understand how they feel and how they feel the world is relating to you this week at least. So let's just sum that up briefly again by saying that although earth signs may find that they have some impediments going on, some struggles, what those seem to suggest is maybe the dichotomy between all of the love that is coming to you right now from various sources, but the fact that maybe on your inner side, it's challenging to you, that you're not able to understand that. I'm going to just say that maybe it's because the world is becoming alive again and re-enchanted, and so everything is moving faster at a really fast pace, forward at a fast pace. And then finally, what happens here is others around you are concerned because they understand this dichotomy, this balance struggle that's going on. They wish they could give up more to help you or to make you feel what they're feeling. So that's what we have for the earth signs, and that's what we have for TFT Tarot for today. Oberon's outlook on the emotional exchanges. Thanks for coming, and I hope to see you next week.